Now at 6, a community is gathering to remember a man who was shot and killed in Hartford last week. Coming up, a live look at that memorial.
And it's a major boost for Connecticut classrooms. We'll tell you why school leaders say millions in new state funding could mean more teachers, smaller class sizes, and fewer cuts. We'll have that story ahead.
And after a rainy and gloomy Memorial Day weekend, the sunshine and the warmer temperatures are back. But for how long? We'll have a first look at the forecast in just a few minutes. And thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Annette Montgomery. A vigil just started to remember an East Hartford man whose life was cut short. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi joins us live on Cabot Street near Albany and Hartford, where that man was shot and killed 8 days ago. Valerie.
Yes, well, friends and family members of 37-year-old Dante Barnes have just arrived to the vigil site, and I was able to speak to his father, Mr. Barnes, just for a few seconds. He did not want to be on camera, but he said to me all he wants is justice. They're still looking for answers, and at this point, as you can see right behind me, we still can see several candles and balloons placed on the vigil site to honor the life of 37-year-old Dante Barnes. And just in a few minutes, we'll also have the presence of Mothers United Against Violence, who are also part of this vigil. And once again, Hartford police responded to the shooting around 11:20, where they found Barnes in the road with multiple gunshot wounds. He was rushed to a local hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Now, Hartford police are continuing to investigate. Again, the event just started, and we'll be able to speak to Mothers United Against Violence, who are supporting the family, and they're having the community coming together to seek for justice. Again, we'll come more on this later tonight and throughout the day. For now, live in Hartford, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
You know your values by your budget.
Those were some opening remarks from Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff as legislators gathered today to sign the newest budget adjustment bill for 2027. Fox 61's Victoria Anderson was at Platt High School in Meriden, where today's ceremony was held.
You know your values by your budget. That sentiment was shared by Senate Majority Leader Bob Duff as legislators signed into law the new budget adjustment bill for 2027. And one value top of mind is schools. Millions of dollars will be pouring straight into classrooms, a much needed relief for many school leaders.
Good morning and welcome. This is certainly an exciting day, not only for the city of Meriden, but the entire state of Connecticut.
From the Capitol to the classroom, legislators celebrated the signing of the 2027 state budget with staff and students at Orville H. Platt High School in Meriden. Superintendent Mark Benigni told us the $193 million that's now heading to classrooms is a major win after last year's tight squeeze for schools.
I was concerned initially about the budget, that we were already at capacity and we were having to cut more teachers, and I was just worried about class size issues, how we were going to support our special education programs.
Meriden was one of many towns that met with legislators throughout the session, pushing for more school funding. And with the budget now signed, Meriden is set to receive $8 million in funding and is expected to be fully staffed for the upcoming school year.
This budget couldn't have worked out better for Meriden. We were able to bring back 20 of our initial cuts, and we're adding 27.6 support positions. That hasn't happened in my 16 years as superintendent.
Legislators are already looking towards next year's budget and continuing conversations on what is best for the students.
I'm not Texas, I don't have oil and gas, I'm not Florida, I can't sell sunshine to tourists, but we have you. We have some of the best students in the world. Legislators are already looking towards next year's budget. Some of the wish list items for that budget included property tax relief and free school lunch. In Meriden, Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.
Well, the budget was celebrated as a bipartisan win for the state, with 21 Republicans voting in favor last month. However, Republicans are speaking out today. House Republican leader Vincent Candelora from North Branford said in a statement, municipalities and school systems may appreciate the additional funding for their programs, but this budget falls short on the affordability crisis that Democrats like to talk about but not solve. The bigger conversation residents are having, and what is nowhere in this budget, is about direct broad-based tax relief, policy to lower electric bills, or permanent gas relief.
One of 3 people charged in the death of Mimi Torres Garcia was in a Torrington courtroom earlier today. Jonathan Nanita is the former boyfriend of the 11-year-old's mother. Right now, Nanita faces several charges, including murder with special circumstances. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules is outside of Litchfield Superior Court with the latest from the courtroom.
It was a brief appearance for the man charged in Mimi's death, ending with his lawyer asking for more time for discovery.
They received a voluminous amount of discovery after the HPC ruling.
Back in March, Jonathan Nanita pleaded not guilty in the death of 11-year-old Jacqueline Mimi Torres Garcia. Nanita was the former boyfriend of Mimi's mother, Carla Garcia. After a probable cause hearing in March, a judge found that there was enough evidence to charge him with Mimi's death. Prosecutors argued that Nanita participated with Garcia in a conspiracy to kidnap Mimi, which ultimately led to her death. Prosecutors say Mimi died in the family's Farmington home back in September of 2024. Her body was then kept in the basement of the home and moved with them when they moved to New Britain. At some point, her body was placed into the plastic bin and put in a car before eventually being put in the backyard of the abandoned home. Police say Nanita admitted to moving Mimi's body to the abandoned home. The state medical examiner ruled Mimi's death a homicide and determined the cause to be child abuse with starvation. Nanita and Garcia face several murder and kidnapping charges, including murder with special circumstances. Mimi's aunt, Jacqueline Garcia, has also been charged for her role in the child's abuse and death. She pleaded not guilty to unlawful restraint, intentional cruelty to a child, and risk of injury to a child. Nanita's hearing has been continued to June 30th. In Torrington, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
All right, so just as we all get back to work and school, of course, the sun comes out, starts shining, the temperatures shoot back up. But of course, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank told us that was going to happen. She joins us now with a look at the forecast. It's a pretty good looking week ahead, Rach.
Yeah, and a little bit of something for everyone. If you were looking forward and waiting patiently for summer warmth, I think we dial it up even more tomorrow, but it's short-lived. If you're just like hoping for something in the middle, not cold and rainy and not hot and humid, well, Thursday and Friday will be the days for you as we get close to average for this time of year. It'll feel nice to be average for a change. Here's a look at temperatures. Close to 80 degrees still in Hartford for Meriden, low 70s for the New Haven area. And we're seeing just a few passing clouds through the sky. But we're watching this area of showers and in some cases thunderstorms. This is a cold front that will approach for later tomorrow, and that will bring a chance for an isolated late day shower or storm and then cooler temperatures. But for tonight, overnight lows will be close to 60. Tomorrow, we crank up the heat. We're in the upper 80s for Southington and Hartford, and even along the shoreline, temperatures are in the upper 70s to low 80s. But again, only for a day. We'll talk about that rising chance for a shower or storm and the cool down that follows coming up.
Rachel, thank you. So yeah, it wasn't the best Memorial Day weekend weather-wise, but people across the state, the lucky ones, got to head out to the shoreline today thanks to today's great weather.
Glad they got to do it today. Yeah. Hammonasset Beach was filled with people stopping by to make the most of the sunny weather. And that's where we find Fox 61's Jamel Johnson, who spoke with beachgoers and even a local business owner.
There's been so much activity here at Hammonasset Beach on Tuesday as many took advantage of positive weather conditions that weren't present over the holiday weekend.
As gloomy skies and wet conditions defined most of the holiday weekend, many people's plans were canceled or altered slightly. That was the case for the Strebel family as they changed their plans based on the rain.
When it was raining, we went into New York City. We went to the Natural History Museum. It was very crowded there during the rain, but we've saved some of our plans for less rainy days here later in the week.
The Strebels are from Illinois and they are staying with family this whole week. Others like Maureen Berman, who live here in Connecticut, have been monitoring the forecast and had to jump on the first opportunity to enjoy the weather.
Very excited. Been waiting for this, you know, but it was such a cold winter and I said, as long as it's nice and warm, I'm not going to complain. So there you go. I'm perfect.
Berman and her husband are retired, so they have ample time to enjoy Connecticut shores. The Strebels only have a week, but have made an effort to spread their wings across the state, including trying new food.
Lobster rolls, crab, a little bit of everything. It's very good.
It sounds like seafood has really won them over, and Tim Paff at Lenny and Joe's Fishtail says days like today usually bring travelers to their restaurant, which is good after a slow holiday weekend.
Very light, you know, it was probably 50% of what we would have done on a nice sunny weekend. Weather driven, that's us down here, you know, we got Hammonasset Park over there, so when the weather's nice, we're busy. When it's not, you know, it's a little slower.
Paff and the staff at the restaurant say they're excited for the warmer weather ahead this year and introducing more people to their hot butter lobster roll.
We got a nice stretch like 2 weeks ago. It was like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was 80 degrees, and we're, it was really busy, which was, really nice, which is a good sign. When the weather's nice, people are down on the shore, and so I would anticipate that being the case going forward. It has been, my 26 years here at least,
Now, weather in the state looks like it's cooling up in the later half of the week, so it might be a good idea to get those beach trips in as soon as possible. In Madison, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Some great advice from Jamel. Well, the traffic stats from Memorial Day weekend are in, and while there were more crashes this year compared to 2025, fewer of them resulted in injuries. State police say they responded to more than 4,000 calls for service, which includes 296 crashes. Of those, 14 involved injuries and 1 fatality out of Windsor. Troopers also say less people were driving under the influence this year. Last year, they reported 36. This year, that number dropped to 20.
Well, a Massachusetts man died after a crash on I-91 in Windsor last night. State police say Juan Martinez hit the car in front of him, which caused his car to cross 3 lanes of traffic and then hit a barrier in the median. Now, police say Martinez was thrown from his car and later died at a hospital. Troopers say the other driver wasn't hurt. Investigators are now trying to figure out what caused Martinez to crash.
And also in Windsor, a woman was stabbed by her boyfriend during a domestic incident early this morning, according to Windsor police. They say it happened on Berry Lane around 2:15 a.m. Police say shortly after the woman arrived home, her boyfriend stabbed her in her driveway. As of right now, we know no charges have been filed. The woman is recovering from serious injuries, but is expected to be okay. We'll take a look at this. A tense standoff outside a New Jersey ICE detention center is now drawing national attention. It comes after a U.S. senator was caught in a cloud of pepper spray during protest. Demonstrators gathered outside Delaney Hall over allegations of poor conditions and a detainee hunger strike. Video shows clashes between protesters and federal agents there as crowds tried to block detainee transfers. DHS says officers used only minimal force and denies claims of unsafe conditions inside of that facility.